Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be previewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 5 matchup versus the Miami Dolphins. If you guys are new here, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button if you do enjoy these types of videos, and leave your thoughts and your score predictions of this game down in the comments section below. I would love to hear it. I always love reading those comments every single week. So again, give me your thoughts and your score predictions down in the comments. I have a lot of thoughts about this game. You know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Miami Dolphins. The Bucs are 3-1, the Dolphins are 1-3, and again, I have some thoughts as to some of the storylines, some of the things that are going on coming up in this game. The first thought I had was just, how cool is this matchup at the quarterback position? Tom Brady versus Jacoby Brissett. And I know what people are going to say is, James, why the heck would that matter? It's Jacoby Brissett. He's the backup for the Miami Dolphins. And we'll talk about that in a second, by the way. But again, the Bucs are playing a backup quarterback. Who cares? Why is this a big deal? Well, for those of you who forget, Jacoby Brissett was once upon a time a former protege underneath Tom Brady in New England. Brissett and Jimmy Garoppolo were both backup quarterbacks who were potential future franchise quarterbacks underneath Tom Brady for the Patriots. And then what ended up happening was the Patriots, they traded Jimmy Garoppolo over to the San Francisco 49ers. He's been doing a very up and down job there. He did go to a Super Bowl, so I guess that is a pretty darn good thing. He's also been dealing with some injuries, not just to himself, but to the team around him. But in the case of Jacoby Brissett, they let him go into free agency. He was a starter, or no, they traded him to the Indianapolis Colts, I believe. He was a starter with them for a couple of years. Then they brought in Phillip Rivers. He was the backup, and then Phillip Rivers retired. They brought in Carson Wentz. Jacoby Brissett said, okay, that's cool. I'm going to go to a different team. He went to go be the backup to the Miami Dolphins, and now he is the starter due to certain circumstances. So again, kind of a cool path, a timeline, if you will, to get to this point. Tom Brady is facing Jacoby Brissett, one of his former proteges. Not the first time this has happened between Brady and Brissett, but still a fun matchup nonetheless, in my opinion. Why is Jacoby Brissett starting in this game? Well, like I said, due to certain circumstances, he has been thrusted into that starting role for the Dolphins. Those circumstances being that to a T, their starting quarterback that they drafted just a year or two ago, he has been placed on the IR. He is dealing with some rib injuries. He will not be playing in this game. Enter Jacoby Brissett, which is unfortunate. I like Tua T. I think he is a good quarterback. I think he has certainly got a lot of bad raps since he has been drafted into the league, and I don't think it's been too fair to him. So unfortunate that we don't get to see Tua T play in this game. I think that would have been also a very, very fun matchup to watch, especially against this Buccaneers pass rush. But regardless, you know, Brissett versus Brady's a good matchup, and Tua T, he'll be back somewhere down the line. But again, it is unfortunate that we don't get to see the Dolphins starting quarterback go against the Buccaneers defense here. While the Dolphins are 1-3, I do want to mention this, their secondary is really darn good. Even Bruce Arians said earlier this week that he feels that the Dolphins secondary is better than the Patriots secondary that they just faced in week number 4, who did a really good job in terms of containing this Buccaneers offense and really limiting their overall point total and what they could do, especially in the passing game. That was a very important thing to note there, was that the passing game was slowed down a decent amount in week 4 versus the Patriots. That also could have been due to rainy weather conditions and whatnot, but regardless, for Bruce Arians to say that this Dolphins secondary is better than the Patriots shows a great deal of respect, in my opinion. And it also continues the trend of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers facing some really tough secondaries the past 3 weeks. In week number 3, you had the LA Rams. They have a top 10 to top 5 passing defense in the league. You look at the Patriots, they have a top 10 to top 5 passing defense in the league. You look at the Dolphins, they have a top 10 to top 5 passing defense in the league. So man, this has just been an absolutely tough stretch for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in terms of battling against opposing secondaries. Sure, they've gone up against two, not great quarterbacks, and Mac Jones, who's still trying to find his footing, and Jacoby Brissett. I personally like Jacoby Brissett. I think he is a good quarterback, but, he's a backup for a reason, and Yeah, besides the fact that they're playing some, not great quarterbacks compared to some of the guys that they played in weeks 1 through 3, now it's been swapped by they're just playing some really darn good secondary. So again, this could be a very tough matchup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers here, despite the Dolphins being 1-3. That's an important thing to make a note of there. Xavier Howard, Byron Jones, all the other guys the Dolphins have there. It's a good group of dudes. One other important storyline thing to note going into this game is that Brian Flores, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, again has some history with Tom Brady. He was the defensive coordinator and linebackers coach for the Patriots for many, many years, working with Tom Brady, doing his thing. He eventually took the head coaching job with the Miami Dolphins, and he knows Brady well. This could be a very similar game to what we saw in Week 4 versus the Patriots. Obviously, I'm going to say that Brian Flores isn't going to be able to game plan as well as, say, Bill Belichick, who's the greatest coach of all time. But still, I think we're going to be getting some similar notes there. Brian Flores comes directly from Bill Belichick's coaching tree. He worked with Brady for many years, and he knows how to coach a good defense in his own right. This Dolphins team is built very similar to what we saw the Patriots team in week number 4 versus the Bucs. So we could very well see a very similar game. An offense that is maybe average to below average with the Dolphins while having a very solid defense, a top 10 defense at that. Again, pay attention to all of that. One more important thing that I'm going to be paying attention to going in this game especially is the cornerback position. The Buccaneers, they do have some reinforcements coming back in the case of JPP, Jamel Dean, and Giovani Bernard, which is a huge help, I feel, by the way, especially in the case of JPP with the pass rush. That's going to be huge, getting pressure on Jacoby Brissett, forcing some takeaways. Jamel Dean is going to help out in coverage. He knows the system. He's a big, fast cornerback who I think can do a good job when he absolutely needs to, or, he can do a good job, right? I feel like it's just going to help in terms of coverage. It's going to help in terms of pass rush on this defense, which is absolutely needed going into this game, because this could be, another defensive battle here in week number 5. Getting the returns of JPP and Jamel Dean are very important. And then in the case of Giovani Bernard, it's going to be another passing weapon. He had 10 targets, 9 receptions in week number 3 before he was dealt his injury. You imagine he would have had a healthy amount of targets in week number 4 versus the Patriots if he was there. So I expect Giovani Bernard to get some work in this game. I still expect Leonard Fournette to get the lion's share of both the running and passing work, but sprinkle a little bit of Gio Bernard in there, maybe give him like 5-6 targets in this game, and you know what? I'll be happy with it. I think that he would be able to do some good work there. But the cornerbacks especially, I want to get back to this. Jamel Dean, Richard Sherman, Ross Cockrell, and Pierre Desir are the 4 cornerbacks who are all going to be getting playing time in this game. Maybe you throw in D. Delaney, I don't know, probably not. But what's going to be more interesting is who's getting playing time over the other guys, right? Like, is Jamel Dean going to be the number 1 cornerback? Are they going to stay with Richard Sherman? Are they going to put Pierre Desir in there maybe over Jamel Dean? What's going on with Ross Cockrell in the nickel cornerback position? Let's just pay attention to it, because I think it's going to be very interesting. I was feeling all right going into this game with Sherman, Pierre Desir, and Ross Cockrell as the 3 corners. You add Jamel Dean, I think that's good to get him back, but it also is going to add a little bit of intrigue as to what's going on with that cornerback room and who's going to play over the others. So pay attention to that. But finally, guys, at the end of the day, I do have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning this game 27-14. I don't have them getting over 30 points just because the Dolphins, they have a really, really good defense, and we saw what a really, really good, well-thought-out defensive game plan can do to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Again, could have been due to rainy conditions, playing a part in that as well. But again, especially good passing defenses can hurt the Buccaneers on offense. Of course it can. I still think the Buccaneers will score a decent amount of points here, and I don't think that Jacoby Brissett in the Dolphins offense will be able to keep up with what the Buccaneers offense is doing. Getting the return of JPP and Jamel Dean, I think, will add some very good reinforcements to the defense, and I think that they will be able to hold the Miami Dolphins to just 14 points. Again, I like Jacoby Brissett. I like some of the weapons they have with Jalen Waddle, with Devontae Parker, Mike Gesicki, Myles Gaskin, who's a very good receiving back. However, regardless, at the end of the day, I think the Buccaneers will prevail here, 27-14. But what do you guys think? Leave me your thoughts about everything I talked about down in the comment section below, as well as your score predictions, guys. Again, I would very much love to hear that. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoy. Now we'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.